Hi guys, Robbie46 here, welcome yourselves to my comparison video between MotoGP 19 and MotoGP 20. We're going to look at MotoGP 19 first, then MotoGP 20, and then we'll do a side-by-side comparison. So using Valentino Rossi at Misano, just a quick look at the bike and rider before we set off. Obviously you can have a look at the rest of the graphics as well. Alright, so here we go on a lap on MotoGP 19 from a standing start. Sound and that we'll get into a little bit later. There's a part at the end of the video which is just doing a comparison of all the bikes in all the bike manufacturers in the three categories, and I won't be talking at all in that, so you can hear the sound comparison a lot more. Yeah, MotoGP 19 I thought was fine. Didn't really have any major issues with it. Handled pretty well. They did change the handling a little bit during some updates, but ultimately, you know, it done the job. Lap time wise, it was maybe a little bit more closer to real life lap times. In previous MotoGP games, you could be like multiple seconds quicker than what they do in real life. MotoGP 19 brought it a little bit closer to that. You could still go quicker, obviously, than in real life, but the margin was much smaller than what it had been in the past. But yeah, it felt pretty good, and there wasn't really a lot wrong with the physics. I know some people had trouble with the braking. Me personally didn't have any troubles braking or anything. So yeah, nothing really wrong with it in my opinion. Like I said, some people did have troubles getting the bike stopped, but that's not an issue that I encountered during my long playthrough of the game. So that's the end of a lap on MotoGP 19. We're now going to switch to MotoGP 20 and have a look at that. So here we go. Still Valentino Rossi at Misano. The first thing I've noticed will be a bit more obvious when we get closer to the split screen. It seems a bit darker. There we go. And actually, even though the sounds haven't been altered, MotoGP 20 sounds to me a bit louder than MotoGP 19. Well, they've definitely recorded louder anyway, but I haven't changed the recording settings or anything. But yeah, the handling is different in MotoGP 20. Not a huge amount different, not so different that you're not going to be able to, you know, pick it up and kind of be able to get around a lap without crashing. But the big noticeable difference is change in direction is quicker. Braking, the rear wheel, especially with the MotoGP bikes, seems to come up off the ground. Even in like non-hard braking areas, it just seems to want to come up off the ground pretty much all the time when you're braking. Acceleration does tend to seem a little bit slower coming out of corners, but that being said, lap time wise, I was about 3 seconds quicker on MotoGP 20 than I was on MotoGP 19, and that's without, you know, getting fully used to the physics yet. So yeah, lap time wise are kind of maybe a step backwards in terms of that. But yeah, we're coming to the end of this lap and we are nearly done. There we go. Right, let's look at them side by side and have a proper comparison. So here we go. Yeah, as I suspected, MotoGP 19 does actually look a hell of a lot brighter than it does in MotoGP 20. It's worth noting these are both running on performance mode on Xbox One X, and yep, again, it just sounds a bit louder from MotoGP 20. You can't really hear MotoGP 19 much. So yeah, that is definitely interesting. Personally, I think it looks better on MotoGP 19. It definitely looks brighter. Both support HDR. HDR is not obviously shown in this video, but they do both support it. When I'm recording, I'm playing in HDR mode, but my recording setup does not actually record the HDR. But yeah, you can already see what I mean about lap time wise. I'm already ahead on MotoGP 20 than what I was in MotoGP 19. Yeah, the bike is a lot more lively on MotoGP 20. No major issues on MotoGP 19 with the bike. Coming out of corners, the rear tends to slide more on MotoGP 20 as well. So you really have to go careful with that. You can get the bike to slide on MotoGP 19, but you can definitely control it more. But yeah, we are coming to the end of the first lap. I think actually I will shut up for the second lap and yeah, let you guys just have a listen. Like I said, you can't. I might have to turn MotoGP 20 down a little bit so that you can hear MotoGP 19 a bit more. Right, so coming to the end of the second lap, the last thing I want to look at here is the crashes. Now, in MotoGP 20, they've kind of changed the crashing and the respawn. So when we come up to the double right, which we are on MotoGP 20, we're about to crash. So there we go, it goes to an onboard camera. It doesn't actually always go to an onboard camera. Sometimes it does go to like MotoGP 19 camera, but the crashes seem to last a little bit longer on MotoGP 20, and you respawn wherever the bike lands. If it lands deep in gravel, that's where you're respawning. Right, next thing I want to look at is wet races. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to go on to a wet race comparison and do a side-by-side. So here we are as Andrea Dovizioso at Phillip Island in the rain. Looking at it again, it looks a little bit brighter. MotoGP 19. There seems to be a bit more rain on MotoGP 20. But yeah, definitely a bit brighter on MotoGP 19. But yeah, when I was recording this, one thing really stuck out with MotoGP 20. Traction control was on 4, but the rear, it was coming around all the time. I went very wide there, but yeah, you see the rear stepping out a lot. So you have to go very, very careful. More careful than you do on MotoGP 19. But again, I was a bit quicker on MotoGP 20. Even though this was actually my first experience in the wet on MotoGP 20. Through Honda hairpin, and again the rear trying to step out on MotoGP 20, relatively in line on MotoGP 19. I think that the lean angle seems maybe a little bit more on MotoGP 20 in comparison to MotoGP 19 in the wet. You tend to get a lot of understeer in the wet on MotoGP 19. Seems a bit more precise on MotoGP 20, but you do have to watch out for the rear coming around pretty much every time you open the throttle. But yeah, definitely a bit brighter on MotoGP 19. Right, now we've done that, I'm going to shut up and let you guys listen to the comparison of all the bike manufacturers in the games through Moto3, Moto2 and the MotoGP class. Anyway guys, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more content. Don't forget to put down in the comments what you think between MotoGP 19 and 20. And I shall see you guys in the next video. See you!